Husband cheated with my best friend while I was upstairs sleeping. I've been with my husband for 12 years, 4 kids together. Been best friends with this girl since we were in diapers. 25 plus years. We've all hung out together for years and had no issues. A few weeks ago we were all hanging out and drinking. Friend was planning on sleeping on our couch. After a few hours I decided to go to bed. They went outside to smoke before also going to bed. Now, 6 weeks later my husband tells me that after I went to bed, they had sex in the living room while I was upstairs sleeping. He says she initiated it. After a few minutes he realized it was wrong and pushed her off. They both blame it on being drunk. Meanwhile I had the same amount to drink and was definitely not drunk enough to do that. I have completely cut her off, and I'm struggling to know what to do about my husband. They are both wrong 100%, but I feel like I need to at least try to forgive him because we have built an entire life together. I know that if this had happened to someone I know, I'd be telling them to leave, but when it's you in the situation it's so much harder. I want to stay, I love him, can't imagine not being with him, but also, how am I supposed to spend the rest of my life with someone who did this to me? I can't eat, I can't sleep. I just want the pain to go away. I'm so hurt. I'm just so confused. If you needed sex that bad, why didn't you just come upstairs to me? How could he throw away our entire life to do this? This is the first time he's ever done anything like this, and he swears it'll never happen again, but he's also sworn that this would never happen to begin with. To top it all off, she's hung out with me multiple times since this happening. I don't understand how she was able to face me after something like this. I have agreed to try counseling with my husband, but told him this doesn't mean I'm giving him another chance. I just need to know that I at least tried everything to make it work. He does seem very remorseful, which makes it even harder. I want to fight for us so bad, but how am I supposed to look at him the same? How am I ever supposed to have friends over? Do I need to be scared to spend a weekend away from him, because if he's capable of doing this while I'm in the house, what's he capable of when I'm not there? I'm so upset because at the end of the day I lose no matter what. Spend the rest of my life with someone that betrayed me in the worst way possible, or leave him and only get to spend every other holiday with my children? I have told my entire family. I told the friend's family as well. I told my husband he needs to tell his family. I know we don't need to tell everyone our business, but I feel like he needs to feel ashamed of what he did. It's so hard when you just want to be comforted by the person you love the most in the world, but they're the one that put you in this position. My entire world has been turned upside down. Story 2. Can't breathe, 37 years old, 4 kids, 17 years down the drain. About a month ago my husband called me over the phone and said that he had to talk to me but couldn't tell me in my face. I said, sure honey, what is wrong? Then like a ton of bricks he says that he has been unfaithful with hookers and strippers our entire marriage. My stomach dropped, I began to shake, and even believe it or not I wanted to rip my uterus out. Weird, I know. I feel like a dumbass because I 100% unconditionally love him and gave him my entire life. I stopped pursuing medical school early on in my marriage because he wanted to start our family, and I made a choice to put that before my personal goals. My life flashed before my eyes. We had many hardships, but I fixed it all, built a home, family, made money. He in his mid-20s was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I filled in the gaps for his shortcomings because I was kind and wanted to do what I could to ease his pain. I was unconditionally in love. He would come to me when he was distressed, and I spent my life making sure that I did my best. I asked for some clarity, and he shared with the hopes I forgive that he perused these sexual affairs because he wanted to feel his heart pumping, the rush of doing things with other women because he could not feel that rush with me. He took out loans and has never put our family as a priority. He projects himself as a family guy, kind, friendly, and you would never believe he would do what he did. I have been crying, having heart palpitations, etc. I am alone with my kids as he is currently in therapy and his parents. They do not see how his actions could affect me and my family, as they see it as okay. Our sons, who are younger teens, do not want to see him. I don't know what to do. I want to know it all. I am not sure if I should forgive or not, but this uncertainty, the feeling of worthlessness, is killing me. In the middle of processing this, I have to and have maintained my home and work 50 hours week and are there for my kids' events, dr apt etc. Need to hear from someone as I do not have support to share what I am going through at this time. Story 3. My husband, 29M, had an affair from about August-October with a mutual friend to him, acquaintance to me. This woman has been to our house countless times, slept over on our couch, and overall spent a lot of time with my husband and myself. Around the same time the affair started, he expressed how unhappy he was in our marriage and I suggested we go to couples counseling, and I entered individual therapy to work on my unresolved sexual trauma. He agreed, and we went, but I, 31F, never felt like he was really taking it seriously or being honest/vulnerable. His chief complaint was that I never wanted to have sex with him. My history of sexual assault definitely influences my ability to relax and enjoy sex. In addition, there has been a long-standing issue in our relationship surrounding chores/maintaining the household. I tend to be the one cooking/cleaning/grocery shopping/etc., and that has created a lot of resentment on my end. Anyway, I sensed something was up with him and her right away, but he would lie, get defensive, and deny. Towards the end, it became absolutely absurd. I saw a picture of them together at a venue on Halloween and he said he just bumped into her. I saw on his location that he was at her house, and when I asked him what he was up to, he mentioned a handful of errands he was doing and didn't mention being there. I once saw a text from her calling him babe. I was using his phone for navigation on a vacation and it popped up. I asked him so many times over the months if they were having sex, if something was going on, and he would repeatedly lie to my face. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, and I was feeling like I was going crazy. My gut and all of these bits of evidence were pointing at an affair, but I chose to put my faith in him and trust that he wouldn't lie to me about something like this. I finally decided I was going to read his Facebook messages, and there it was. Painfully black and white. I kicked him out of the house, had some really choice words with each of them, and told him I wanted a divorce. Mind you, about a week prior to this, he told me he thinks he wants a divorce but isn't sure. We decided to start sleeping in different rooms and minimizing contact with one another so we could figure out what we each wanted. In retrospect, I firmly believe he just wanted to pursue this other woman and was hoping I would end up telling him an amicable divorce would be best so he didn't have to feel like a bad guy. About a week after kicking him out, I sent him divorce paperwork. I'm a paralegal, so I am fortunate that I can draft everything and don't have to worry about paying attorneys. I started house shopping, applied for a mortgage, immediately started working on what had to be done to get myself out of the house. He texted me asking for another chance, and when I asked why, he indicated his mother had asked him if there was any chance we could make it work. He came over and was really emotional, seemed to have at least a decent understanding of what an absolutely horrible thing he did, and I agreed to give him another chance with strict terms, individual therapy, couples counseling, completely block the other woman, etc. Guys. It's been 2 weeks since he moved back in and already my gut is screaming for me to get the f*** out. He mentioned that she had texted him asking if her wallet was in his car, and according to him it had been at least a week since he had seen her, so I was wondering how she would have just realized her wallet was missing. He also didn't tell me about the text until the day after she texted him. Then he deleted the conversation before I could ask to read it. Next up, I asked him to block her on all social media, and he got so weird. He claimed they are in a Snapchat group chat and an Instagram group chat regarding common interests with a few others friends, and he made a big stink about not understanding the conversation in the group chat if he blocks her. He claimed he wasn't emotionally ready to block her, to which I said, "You have to choose, you don't get to keep her in your life and move forward with me." We actually argued about it for a while before blocked her on social media and asked me to watch him do it. I was super angry and hurt that I even had to ask him to block her, let alone argue with him about it. If the roles were reversed, I think the first thing I would do when asking to reconcile is to voluntarily block the AP and show my spouse I had done it, unprompted. The blocking happened maybe a week ago, and just yesterday I asked him if he can still see her messages in their group chats after he blocked her, and he can, and he didn't tell me. I had to ask. I feel like it goes without saying I wanted him to have no contact with her, and if that means saying goodbye to his stupid group chats, that was too bad, and something he should have considered before putting his penis in her repeatedly for months. We are living together, trying to get back to normal, but I don't trust him at all, and I'm still really angry about the whole affair. I also don't trust that his motives for reconciliation were purely because I love you and missed you, and more so because his girlfriend kicked him out so he had to move in with his parents and he was uncomfortable. He was really stressed about the idea of splitting our assets, didn't want to have to give me an equalization payment even though he insisted he wanted this to be 50-50, was embarrassed because I told our mutual friends, not sorry, and other things that basically chalk up to being very uncomfortable for the duration of the divorce process and facing the consequences of his actions. What I'm coming to you now to ask is, in your opinion, should I trust my gut and just find an apartment and get the f*** out? Or should I give it some time and give him another chance? I ignored my gut before, and look where it got me. I still love him, but I'm not sure I will ever be able to trust him again, and I'm already seeing him falling back into patterns of selfish behavior. We've been married less than 3 years, and together for about 5.